The PTE is changing very, very much. I know you would have been hearing of all the latest changes, especially around the requirements for migration. Now, I don't know if this requirement cuts across the study, like if you want to come study or you want to come do, or you want to do like your nursing registration. I'm not sure if this changes cuts across it. Well, welcome to my YouTube channel. My name is Juliet. I'm a Pearson Test of English tutor. In today's video, I'll be focusing mainly on the score requirements for PTE. I always have it written out here, so I know exactly what I'm sharing. I know rumors have it that there are a lot of changes and even the score requirements for migration have changed. So what I want to ask is, do you actually know what has changed? Or do you want to know what has changed? So my job here today is to elaborate on what has changed, or to shed more light on what has changed, to update you on the latest changes on the score requirements for the PTE. So we know for the PTE, if you're going for migration, I know that you have, sometimes they would say they need a certain score. There are some scores they would refer to as competent, and there's another set of score they will refer to as proficient. Another kind of score they require that they will call superior. Now, it depends on where you are. It also depends on your age. That will determine the kind of English score test that will be required from your migration, or maybe for, let's say, if you want to come into Australia. So PTE has updated that score. Now, that score has been there for many years, even before I started teaching the PTE. But now, maybe because of the new changes in the speaking module, so they've decided to up their game across the level of English that is required for migration. Now, prior to this time, if they're required to give them like competent English, they would say that they will need you to get like 50 across the different modules. And the different modules are the listening module, reading module, writing module, and the speaking module. We know that the speaking and the writing modules are the part 1 of the exam. The reading module is part 2, and the listening module is part 3. So excuse me, please. So if they say competent, prior to this time, they will say they need you to get 50 across all the modules. So if you get less than 50, then it is not a competent score. It means it's not enough for what they require it for, especially for migration. That is what I'm focusing on today. Now, if they ask you for proficient scores, they will need you to get like 66 across all the modules. 66, 65, they're about 66, okay? But you're not going to get anything less than any 65 or 66. It means if you even get 61 and then get 66 or 68 across all the other modules, you will still need to rewrite. That is what I've known the PTE for, even before I became a tutor. All right. Now, when they ask for superior English, they need you to get 79 across each module. Now, we know that the PTE score grade is on a scale of 10 to 90. That means 10 is the default score and 90 is the highest score you can score in the PTE across all the module. So when they ask for superior English, I know that you're supposed to get 79 across all the module. But now things have changed. Okay, so from yesterday, which was the 7th of August of 2025, these new score requirements have come into play. And I think they are considering the new speaking task, the 2 new speaking tasks that were added to the speaking module, which are the summarized group discussion and respond to a situation. I guess that's why they have done this. Now, these new scores, don't get me wrong, they are a bit tricky because they are not like wholesome scores. Well, let me not use the word wholesome because they are whole numbers, but they're just scattered everywhere. It might take a little bit of time for people to actually get a grasp of them. Now, that means that, having said that, I just want to say, if they're asking you to give them competent score, competent English, it means that you get like 47 in listening. They want you to get like 48 in reading. Then for the writing, they want you to get 51, and then for the speaking, they want you to get 54. So it's still within that range of 50s for the competent English. Yeah, if you understood what I've said when I started this video, I did say prior to now, if they had requested for competent English, they need you to get nothing less than 50 across all the modules. So now you can see the highest score is still in speaking, which is 54, okay? And then the writing is 51. I think the highest scores across these different kinds of scores requirement now will be focusing majorly on writing and speaking. Now, prior to this time, the PTE writing didn't have a lot of scores on its own. But from yesterday, the 7th of August of 2025, we have seen that the PTE writing can now generate more scores for itself or on its own. You know, where they have, excuse me, things like the summarized written test skyrocketing in terms of the scoring. As then the essay was the most surprising part of it, where you have like 6 marks for structure development and coherence, content 6 marks, and I think the linguistic range to shot up to 6 marks. You know, by the time you add other things like spelling, vocabulary, form, and grammar, it skyrocketed to 22, if I'm not wrong. Now, prior to this time, PTE writing essay or write essay used to be just 15 marks. So you see from the ongoing, the requirements are different from the others. You can see a rise in their requirement for writing. Now, for the competent English, they want you to get 51 in writing. So that means 50 is no longer enough. Okay, now the proficiency, they want you to get 58 in listening, 59 in reading, 69 in writing. Okay, you can see that writing again shooting up against the 66 that they were looking for before in proficiency score. Okay, now we see the speaking getting so high to 76. Whoa, so it means that it's almost like superior score for speaking. That's why I say it's a bit tricky, because if you look at the score for listening and reading, you might say, oh, okay, it's still good enough. But by the time you look at writing and then go to speaking, you understand what I mean. Now, for the superior English, they will want you to get 69 in the listening, 70 in the reading, 85 in the writing, and 88 in the speaking. Whoa, that's a high score. So that means even if you get 79 in the speaking or 79 in the writing, it wouldn't work anymore. They want you to get 85 in the writing and 88 in the speaking. So where are all my superior English seekers? So that means if you're looking for the superior English, you need to make sure that you aim for 90. This time has gone when you'll be saying, oh, even if I get 79, I'm good to go. No. From the ongoing, from yesterday, it simply means that you can't even aim for 80 on the dot. You should aim for 90. You should put that score 90 before you, when you prepare for your PTE exam, because from the look of things, you will need to get almost 90 for the writing and for the speaking. Boy, would this be difficult? It's not going to be a stroll in the park. Now, I was teaching someone the new task in the PTE speaking, especially the summarized group discussion. That task is not so easy. But what I'm going to say is that it's doable. Okay, so tell me in the comment section, do you think that these scores are easy? Do you think it was fair enough for the PTE to just do this course this way, or you think it's okay? Let me know your response in the comment section. And if you're new to my channel, do not forget to like, do not forget to share, do not forget to comment, leave comments. I'm going to respond to you. And you can find us on Instagram at English_prep class and on Facebook at English prep class. I'll see you in my next video. Bye.